Good morning. So today in this session we will discuss two very basic concept of Java, that is difference between local variable and the data member variable, and the difference between static variable and the non-static variable. The static variable and non-static variable is a part of data member variable. So first we'll discuss difference between the local and the data member variable. So we'll discuss the points, and with the code also will implement so that the difference will keep in our mind. So there's five highlighted points which we are going to discuss. So first is a how to declare this variable. So local variable we have to declare within the scope of the method, whereas data member variable we will declare within the scope of the class but outside the method or the constructor. So if we go to the code, so here I am declaring this int j is equal to 12. That is a local variable because it's a inside the method. This variable present inside the method. And these two variable, that is I, and we'll make this one as a k. I and k. These two variable are the data member variable, where as I told static and non-static. So here this I is a static and k is a non-static, but these two both is a considered as a data member variable. So it's clear how where we have to declare any variable which is inside the method is called a local variable, and any variable which is present outside the method or constructor but inside the class is called data member variable. So this is the first point. Second point, access. How to access local variable as well as data member variable. Local variable always we can access within the method. Here I am declaring this int j equals equal to 12. So this j, if I am trying to access inside this method like similar in this manner, so it will give the output 12. But if we'll try to access outside the method, so it will give an error. It will not allow to access outside the method because it's a scope only inside the method. Whereas this data member, we can access it from anywhere because we are declaring outside, means inside the class, and this scope is whole the class, so anywhere we can access this variable. So access is also clear. Now initialization. Local variable we have to initialize. If we'll not initialize this value to the local variable, it will show an error. See this int j, and we'll try to access in the line number 12, and here also I'm commenting. See, it's showing an error with j, and the error shows the local variable j may have not been initialized. That means always local variable we have to initialize the value. But so I'm initializing the value. But whereas the data member variable, it's not mandatory to initialize. If we don't initialize the value to the data member variable, by default compiler will give the default value. Let's take an example. So this k, okay, so this k I'm not initializing the value, and here I'm trying to, okay, and here I'm trying to access k, okay, this one k, and see there's no error, and it's giving value 0 to k because it's a integer type int. That's why it's giving the default value, that is 0. So how to initialize these two variable, these two types of variable, that is also clear. Now the category means local one type, but the data member, as I initially only I told that it's static and non-static. There's a two types of variable which comes under the data member. Now memory allocation. Local variable using the stack area to store, whereas data member use the heap area to store the this value to the variable. And the this point, 5 points I have discussed. Now there's one note which we always keep in our mind. Let's suppose some variable. This variable I'm considering j. Okay, this is j. So here that means it's a data member variable, and I'm initializing the value. Let's suppose 17, and the same j I'm declaring inside also. That means it's a local variable. So now the question is, if I am trying to access this j, so compiler will give which value, 12 or 17? So always keep in your mind, compiler will give first preference to the local variable because it's a stack area. Okay, so so an example, so j, okay, and I'm printing here j. Hmm? This k I'm commenting. Okay, see, it's showing, it's giving output as a 12. 12 means it's showing the local value, local variable value, which I'm assigning 12, and 17 as a data member. So it's giving 12. That means it's giving the first preference to the local variable value. So these are the few points which is very much important with concept wise as well as interview point. And the second question, difference between static and non-static, we'll discuss in our next session. Thank you so much.